Welcome to Kingdom Community South Africa. This is the youth program presented by the Kingdom Youth. In a world influenced by status, fame, charm, and deception, we, the youth of the Kingdom of God, are living amidst a world culture. There may come a time where we conform to standards of the world, backslide, and maybe even compromise our salvation in this desolate and vain environment. Being exposed to this negative environment is not a problem. We are to expect adversity, trials, and tribulations. However, as children of God, if we are not influencing the kingdom of God in this environment, that is the problem. Join us as we learn and discover our mandate and authority as children of God to influence the kingdom of God in our world today.
Good evening, Kingdom Youth. Welcome to another evening of our Kingdom Youth sessions. So this year, since it's 2023, we are deciding to just spice things up a little bit with in-person sessions. So because we are in the month of love, which is February, and we all know we've been celebrating Valentine's Day, we've decided to go with the topic on dating and relationships, because we all know that this is something that's very relevant and that we are all, as young people, faced with in this day and age that we're living in. So it's just going to be a fun, relaxed conversation, just hearing points of views from different generations, the older, the younger, and we have very exciting guests, our own ambassadors, Mongi and Alina, who are also going to be gracing us with their knowledge and their wisdom on this topic. So enjoy this session with us, and don't be afraid to send us any of your questions on our chat. So what we're going to be doing now is going into the discussion around dating and relationships. So our guests that we've got today, we've got Mongi and his wife Alina, and then we've also got our youth over here. We've got Lindy and we've got V as well. Whoop, whoop.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Yes.
So to start off the conversation, I just thought that we could start it off right at the beginning to actually, define what is dating in today's day and age. Because we know that now we have things like situationships, polyandry, like it's just getting more and more creative as the days go by. So I just want us guys just to open it up to say, what is your understanding of what does dating actually mean? Because you even get people who say things like they just want a life partner.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Very
maybe
true.
Mongi, let's hear from
For
you.
me. Okay, awesome. So the the great thing about relationships, I think, is that, well, let's talk about the Bible. Let's talk about the Bible first of all, because dating in the world today is very different to what the Bible has spoken about relationships, right? So the Bible doesn't talk about dating. People did not date in the Bible because that was not in the culture, but we date today, right? We definitely do date today. So there is. So you asked me about dates, about dates and dating.
Yeah.
So I think there's a difference. So if I am dating somebody, right, it means that I have formally decided to be in a relationship with someone, right? Then there's a thing called I'm going on dates, right? Dates.
Take my family.
All right. I am going on dates. All right. And dates are, so I think as a foundation is that we need to say that when we going into any kind of relationship with the opposite sex, it's always governed by the kingdom of heaven. It's always governed by the principles of godly relationships. And we're talking about us as in KCSA and us as youth in terms of wanting to build godly, righteous relationships, right? So I think that now going on dates with somebody, going to my second part, is saying, hey, how are you doing? Lindy, lovely to meet you. My name is Mongi. I'd love to get to know you, all right? Can I take you out on a date so I can get to know who you are, all right? Okay, that is me going on a date with somebody. And that's always done in a way that is respectful, that's honoring, so I can get to know who this person is, okay? The next week, I can go on a date with Alina. Hi, Alina, how you doing? Listen, I'd love to get to know you, you seem like somebody's really great, but always being upfront with intentions. Generally with groups, say, listen, I want to get to know who you are. We can go for a coffee date. Is that cool? You know, cool. Then you start going to the process of saying, hey, listen, I actually like Lindiwe. There is a formal kind of really great rapport there, right? And as a guy, this is what guys don't generally do. They don't openly say, hey, I'm going on a date with Lindiwe, I'm going on a date with this one, I'm going on a date with this. Because people think going on a date with somebody means that I want to have intimacy with you. I want to like build something intimate with you. As opposed to saying, hey, I want to get to know you. And being open, say, I want to go on a coffee date with you, I want to go on a dinner date with just to hang out, and having those intentions very, very openly, very, very structurally said.
Let's hear from Alina, because I can see she's putting up her hand.
Yeah, because I think now otherwise we're just gonna hear one view, and because he's been going on for a while, and we still have to hear from the young people. So I know that we're gonna get to, like, obviously whatever relationship that we engage in needs to be governed by godly principles, right? But I'd like to make a point, maybe, and even disagree a little bit with what Mongi is saying. I agree that there's going on dates and then there's dating. Dating is where you have now decided, I'm going to focus on this one person, and I'd like to get to know them better.
I agree.
And it may lead to something even bigger, right? But the important thing with dating is that you have to be clear with your intentions upfront. You can't personally, especially in like a closed group, right? I personally don't think it's right when we now go to he was talking about dates. I don't think that I don't think that it's right to go on dates with many people at the same time in the context of wanting to know them. I think it's okay to relate with people without singling people out, because then you it looks very dodgy if you think about it. As a guy, 1 week you're on a date with me, the next week you're on a date with Jackie, and we're in the same circle and we're speaking. I'm like, hey Jax, I'm going on a date with Prince, and then you're like, how? But Prince took me out on a date last week, you know? So I think also it's very important that if you really are at that stage where you would like to, maybe you're thinking of getting into a relationship, it's important that even the going on dates, you do it in a way that protects the ladies, right? You can't be trying to get to know 5 girls at one time. Like, what are you doing? Right? I just wanted to just clarify that point, and I've seen it happen in church, and it does look dodgy, and it causes a lot of confusion, and it also makes the guy look a bit dodgy, as though like this guy is busy. It's probably what do I want to say? You could potentially do that in a group where maybe you have not decided and you want to get to be exposed to different people, but already starting to single people out. I think that could be a recipe for disaster. Yeah, so maybe then I've said quite a mouthful, I think. Yeah, ladies, what do you think?
I have to agree with you, because I think a lot of girls right now in our generation, they go in with their hearts. So when they find you going on dates and everything like that, you're gonna come off as a player a lot. Yeah, that's what I have to say.
Okay.
Player.
I think what I have to say about that is, with our generation, dates is different for us than it is to you guys. Like, I feel like she said, like many girls and many guys nowadays, they go in like wholeheartedly, I'm going on a date, help me pick an outfit, like it's a serious
like
thing.
You're already in the
relationship.
relationship.
After the date, we're just girlfriend and boyfriend.
Yeah.
Whereas with you guys, it's like, I'm just going on a date to get to know you. Like, it's really not that deep. But for us, it's very, very deep.
Wow.
So I also like in terms of you asking
Wow.
what is dating. I
Mm.
feel like dating is what you and the person
Mm.
agree
Mm.
dating to be. Like I don't know if I'm making sense.
No,
Like
no,
dates
yeah,
can
no,
be
you're definitely
where
all right,
me and
yeah.
you just go
Mm.
Yeah.
out on multiple dates every Saturday,
Mm.
and then it's like, okay, let's move on to the next stages. Like
Mm.
I can ask you to be my girlfriend, I can ask you to be my boyfriend, and stuff
Mm.
like that.
Mm.
Like it's different for every age group.
Mm.
Gotcha.
If,
Gotcha.
yeah.
So I want to go back to the first question,
Mm.
right? And the reason why I want to say that is because dating relationships are different based on where you are located. So what I mean by that,
Mm.
if you are in a church environment, so let's say we all go to church together and we all encouraged to want to protect one another, want to honor one another, all right? I definitely do agree with Alina on the point that you want to be going on group dates, you want to be going on, group hangouts to get to know one another, because you are in a protected environment
Mm.
as in church, you know? So the reason why I would say going on dates with multiple people, right, is because if you are in a church setting, all right, and you're a youth, so let's say it's just youth, right? On Friday nights we're all hanging out, we all know each other, we all agree that this is the standard of how we wanting to do relationships. And I'm not talking about when I walk out of youth and now talking about guys outside of youth, because now that's a different culture, right? It's a different principle. It's a different behavior. There, a guy can come and say, "Can I go out, take you on a date?" It's like, okay, sharp, like it's a relationship. But if we define in youth in KCSA what going on dates means,
Mm.
it creates a safe environment, right?
Mm.
It creates a safe environment to say,
Mm.
you know what, okay guys, at KCSA or within our environment, going on a date with somebody is actually, you know what guys, we define it as getting to know somebody. So ladies, don't get your hopes up. Don't get that this guy's trying to treat you special. They'll treat you special because you're his sister. I don't want guys outside of KCSA wanting to now start hit on you to now, you know what I'm saying? Like I want to get to know you. Hey, cool, sharp, you know? It's all about how we define as KCSA what, and as the youth of KCSA, what going on dates actually is, you know? Can I ask you guys a question? How do you define dating? How do you define dating today? Yeah, I think because I think we never landed on what the definitions are. You know,
dating.
so how, like Lindy, how would you define dating? Talk to me.
I'm gonna let her answer first.
Like if I were to say you and I dating, what does that mean?
Well, boyfriend and girlfriend.
Boyfriend and girlfriend.
That's what I think of
and we're
dating.
exclusive.
Yes.
Okay. All
I
right, cool.
think, like, I also feel like it goes with, again, like the generation that you're in.
Mm.
Because maybe dating can be different for you guys.
Mm.
But then for me, growing up, when you're dating someone, your boyfriend and
Your
girlfriend,
girlfriend.
that's just dating.
Okay, cool.
And what does that mean? Like what does boyfriend and girlfriend
entail?
actually mean? Yeah, what does it entail?
Like, you know, I send you good morning text, I send you good night text. Like,
Mm.
it's like we're kind of best friends, but then with a different label. Like, we are best friends,
Mm.
Yeah.
but then the best friend relationship I have with my boyfriend is different,
Yeah.
and like vice versa. Like, there's stuff that I can talk to her about, she's my best friend.
Mm.
Then there's stuff that I can talk to my boyfriend about, he's my boyfriend.
Like what stuff? Because I think I want us to get to the bottom of why do you feel you want an exclusive relationship with somebody of the opposite sex, right? Because I think that will uncover a lot. Because you already have that companionship with your girlfriend, right? Or if it's a guy, the guy already probably has a similar companionship with another guy. So I want us to just hone in a little bit more on what makes up that boy girl relationship
Oh, okay.
or dating relationship.
Oh, I think it also goes with how, for lack of a better term,
Mm.
society is shaped. Like, for me, growing up, dating has always been like with a boy. It also goes with who you're attracted to.
Mm.
So me, it's always been, I'm gonna date a boy, never I'm gonna date a girl.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if I'm making
No, yeah, I
sense.
get you.
Yeah, like, it just goes with how I grew up and what I saw around me. Like, I never saw I never really saw a girl dating a girl. Like, is that really dating, or are you guys just like friends? Like, I never really, from me growing up personally, I never saw a lot of lesbian relationships or gay relationships. That's just how I was growing up. I always saw when you're dating, it's a boy and a girl. Boyfriend, girlfriend.
Heterosexual.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you're married, husband and wife.
And I think and I sorry, I'm not the
No, you can go
Yeah.
ahead. It's fine.
I acknowledge your point, right? I think that's taking it to the next level. And I agree with you that definitely the conversation that we're having is within the construct of if we're talking intimate a relationship, it's a man and a woman, or a boy and a girl, like you defined it. But I mean, there are other relationships that we exist in, which you have with your family, you have with your lady friends or guy friends, right? But I think what I was trying to touch on was to understand what then now exclusively differentiates what is it that you look for in this kind of relationship where you are dating as a young person, you're dating somebody of the opposite sex from you.
I think V can answer.
Maybe V, yeah.
Yeah, He's the pressure. He's the pressure.
Okay, I mean, like, for me, the biggest thing has to be, he has to be a God-fearing man. If he's not like that, I can't be there because we don't share the same values and morals. So if we don't share the same values and morals, where are we going? You know? So I think that's the biggest thing for me. And also just me being able to vent to the person.
Okay.
Because if I have a problem with her, I won't first go and tell her that I have a problem with her. I'll have to first seek advice. So if I'm able to seek advice from him and him telling me what to do and everything, then I'll be able to be like, okay, that's the person that I want to be with, you know, and everything. And then go and address the situation with her and everything. So yeah, that's what it is for me, dating.
Yeah.
First and foremost, you said, baby, that dating was never in the Bible, right? So I would, but I would then like us to challenge that, to say, in the present day, then what are we doing? So if we are saying, as believers and kingdom people, so now we're going to introduce a worldly concept into how we live as believers because we want it to be done in a particular way. So I'm saying, is dating even something that we should be talking about? If we are saying that our standard is dictated upon by the word of God, right? Is that something that's even prescribed? Or any relationship between a man and a woman is one where two people are ready to get married and be together forever. So I'm saying, my question is now, I feel like we've already adopted that, okay, we've embraced dating, right? And dating is what we do. But my thing is, before we even get there, can we address the elephant in the room? Which is is dating something that we should be doing first and foremost, especially because when you opened, and I agree with that, there's no provision for dating in the word, unless if I've missed it somewhere. Relationships of a man and a woman always lead to one place, and it's only people that can then engage in that way. It's two people that are matured, that know what they're doing, that have every intention of being in a relationship that leads to marriage, right? So my thing is, can we just pin that point and just maybe before we even say what is the right, what is not right, whatever, can we just address that point?
Sure. So I don't know if you guys know the history of courting. Do you guys know?
Kind of.
Okay, so the Bible's written in a cultural context. All right? Right. So the cultural context would be that I am family A. This is the woman from family A.
No, you can say this woman
Yeah,
here.
right.
Because this is your wife already.
Yeah, so this is family A. I am family B. Okay. So the Bible's written in a cultural context. So in the Jewish customs, okay, if I liked family A, like what Joseph did, what he would then do is that he would speak to his father, or he'd speak to an uncle, or speak to a family member, and say, family A, please may you go to family B, because this, I've seen this woman, or I've not seen this woman, or they would go and pursue a woman for you. They think that this woman here would be good for you. Then you guys would then meet, because marriages back then were generally arranged. So dating or courting happened in a cultural sense. Do you get what I'm saying? So there was a way in which it was done. So the Bible was written in a time where there was a culture of how relationships were done. All right? I would not just go to Alina and say, hey, listen, Yamrana, can you and I just hang out, right?
Yeah.
It was never done that way, because that wasn't the culture of the time.
Right.
So what I'm trying to say, guys, is that you can't say that, can we now bring dating? Do we bring dating into the church? All right? The reason why I'm saying that is because our culture right now of building relationships with the opposite sex is a different culture. So to Alina's point, there are principles that we ought to adhere to in terms of how to now build a relationship with the opposite sex. Do you get what I'm saying? So in our culture today, all right, what has been normalized in our culture is, I see woman A sees woman B, man B, all right? The culture is they would then come and be together, all right? And they would then form a relationship. It's not family A versus family B, or my uncle going to them and then saying, hey, listen, can you please go? You get what I'm saying? It's a different culture of relationship, right? The consistent thing, to the point that you are making, the consistent thing was the values and principles that now were the foundation of engagement, right? So our values and principles around relationships are based on the Bible, right?
Absolutely.
Right? So given our culture, all right, our culture is, I can go to you, Lindy. Hi, Lindy, how are you doing? Are you well? Great. Can I please, I'd love to get to know you, right? Can you and I go for coffee? All right. That's our culture, right? That being said, the principle that now Lindiwe and Mongi now need to adopt, that pleases God, is to say that relationship will be based on God's principles. So, there's no sex before marriage, okay? I treat you with honor and respect. Our relationship is not a sexual relationship, okay? All right? Our relationship is pure, okay? I honor your body, you honor my body, all right? I do not talk down on you, I do not ask you for
Dominate you.
nudes, I don't sext you, because the principle, like what it was 2,000 years ago, 6,000 years ago, was undergirded by the principles of God, the commandments of God, which are all relational commands, right? That now undergirds my relationship with you, Lindy.
But now, can I
You see,
interrupt you?
Do you get what I'm saying?
Go for
To
it.
go back to
there's
the
a level of
original
honor.
point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My question then is still what Elena said is, at what point is someone ready to engage in something like that? Because most young people nowadays start
Very good
dating
question. Yeah.
due to
They date when they're 8 years old.
society, due to like what's happening around them, not necessarily because they have taken that decision to say, I want to start dating, but because of, you know, the environment that they're in, someone approaches them or they like someone and then they go with that. So my question is, at what point is someone then ready to engage in that?
That's a
What
good.
do you guys think?
I think when you're mentally built for it
Okay.
and
What does that
emotionally,
mean?
like you need to have developed into your person, into, because I feel like you can't just go into a relationship without knowing who you are, because it's going to be hard for you to actually also love the other person. So I feel like if you know who you are and you as a person, I feel like that's what, like when you know that you're ready for a relationship. Also when you've gathered your things together, you know, you're working, everything is like you know, and you've dealt with your problems, traumas, and everything like that. Because a lot of that right now is what is killing the youth relationships. It results to people cheating because they grew up in households seeing their parents cheat and they think it's normal. So I think, yeah, if you know yourself, that's when you should be in a relationship. Yeah.
I think, like, it goes back to what you were saying, or what you were saying. Kids can start dating at 8 years old. So for I don't really think an 8-year-old knows themselves like that, like what you were saying. It's what's going on around them. So my friend is dating.
gonna
You know, like, it seems
Yeah.
like a trend.
Yeah.
When you get older and when you start to, like, actually know yourself and develop, like, mentally and emotionally as well, you're like, okay, I think I'm ready for this whole dating thing, like, proper, because, like, there's this whole thing of primary relationships don't count.
Yeah.
It's only high school relationships that count.
Wow.
They
Because
should also not
Yeah.
count.
because I think once you're in high school,
Yeah.
it's a change of environment as
Yeah,
well, and you're starting to discover yourself even more.
Yeah.
I think
You're starting to discover yourself
Yeah.
sexually.
yes,
Yeah.
yes,
All
Yeah.
of your body, you know.
puberty
Hormones,
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You get exposed to more things on social media, like,
Yeah.
you know, there's something called porn, there's
Yeah.
something,
Exactly.
and then you start to, I think that's the phase where you start to challenge yourself and say, okay, yes, I see that there is porn, but then, is this really what I'm supposed to be watching as a God-fearing person or whatever? And is this what I want to practice in my relationship? When you're 8 and you see porn, it's like, if they are doing it, I can also do it.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And then, but then as you get older, you're like, I don't think so. I don't think. It also goes with, like, morals and values and stuff like that. And you ask, like, when do you stop going on dates and actually start, like, moving to the next phase? I think also as a person you can see this is going somewhere and it's not
And it's
going
not
anywhere.
going
And it goes with the person as well. Like, if you have proper values and you respect someone's time, because that's someone's time going on a date, and just stringing them along, dating 10 people, different people at the same time, like, it says a lot about your character. So it also goes with how you wish to be viewed, because imagine if you find out that I actually went on a date with 9 other like girls or 9 other guys. You're gonna view me as someone different, and it just goes with how you want to be viewed as well, like, and your morals and your values. Yeah. That's what I'd say.
And can I just say something? And I just think maybe in trying to address the when and everything that has been said, I think that you know, it's critically important, because you might say I'm just dating, but the truth of the matter is that when you are in a relationship, there are expectations, right? You might get into it thinking that no, I'm a godly woman, I'm a God-fearing guy, but then because you spend time together and there's attraction already, it just becomes, it creates an opportunity for a lot of things, right? It creates an opportunity to want to be intimate. And as much as you might say, no, because you already know as a child of God that there's no sex before marriage, you know that you have to keep your relationships pure. But the danger, I can say, with being in a relationship when you are young and you are not yet at a place where you are ready to say, I'm doing this because I'm wanting to commit to get married, is that you create, and especially where, and I think that's why I just want to make a point. I went to a church where they didn't allow people to date, right? And if there was an inclination of, I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but if there was an inclination of young people wanting to date, there always had to be a third person who's sort of like the person that they're accountable to. Because I think it's very easy to start and say, yeah, no, we're going to be pure and whatever. But the truth is that the more you spend time together and the more you get closer and closer together, you become emotionally intimate, you become vulnerable with one another. One thing just leads to the other. So you could be getting in there with the purest of intentions. And that's why then people say, oh, oops, we fell pregnant and we didn't mean to, right? That's why you've got young people that are falling pregnant. That's why you've got young people that are depressed and they find themselves in situations like that because they're like, no, but this is not what we meant to do because we know we're not supposed to be doing this. So I want to say that it's also important that you know, sometimes it's not to say people must be dictated upon in terms of you must do this, you mustn't do that, but it's important to also think, am I really ready to get into something like this as a young person? And hence I said that for me, I felt for what I wanted for my life, that was not a priority. You know, the priority for me as a young person, I relate with guys, I relate with I've got male friends, but my priority, because I could see that that's something that could derail me, you know, I then made very different choices to say, I'm going to focus on me, I'm going to focus on what I want to do, pursuing my purpose, and then when the time is right, then I can open that aspect of my life.
So now that we've heard what they have to say, because I just want us to also wrap up, you know, part one, but I also just want to hear from you guys, like maybe what are your closing thoughts around just everything we've discussed? Like, what are your thoughts?
It's been heated.
It has. I don't know, but like for me, I really feel like dating. I hope you don't fight with you don't fight me on this.
No.
But like I feel like dating at like 18, 19, it comes with experience, and I feel like that is the one experience that you need to have in order for you to know what you're looking for. Because I feel like a lot of people don't know what they're looking for in a relationship, you know, to know.
Because you don't know who you are. You're too
No.
young to know who you are. at
No,
18.
but I mean like
Anyway.
also at the same time it's like
Make your point.
I need to know what type of guy I want, you know, because I can be in a relationship where it's so toxic, but I feel like the love that he's giving me is the love that I need, but I don't need the toxicness, you know. So I don't know. I just feel like experience is needed. I don't know.
I just wanted to add on to what you said, because what you're saying is something I've heard a lot of like young people say. And my thought is always that like, why do people feel that they need experience to know the type of person they want? How about rather you get to know you and who you
Decide
are,
who you want.
and then decide from there? Because also now you've put yourself through all these experiences. At the end of the day, you put yourself through things you didn't even need to go through
Exactly.
in the first place, you know, and you put yourself in a very vulnerable position, because this year it's John, next year it's Jabu, next year it's so and so. And imagine like all those things that you are exposing yourself to, then you even end up with issues that you were never even supposed to have in the first place. Then eventually when you now get to that place where you're like, now I'm mature, now I actually want to date intentionally to get married to someone, now you must first go deal with all of those issues. Whereas you didn't have to walk that road, because the world has
That's a
that
good
mindset.
point. Can we drop a
That's-
mic right there?
That says,
Can we drop a mic right there?
that says you need experience. Why not rather spend that time getting to know you? Hence why I said
Come on.
earlier, you don't have to get to know yourself through someone, through those experiences. You know, we're not talking about a job here. We're talking about dating and relationships. So I just feel like we also need to demyth that. I just feel like it's such a wrong mindset. I'm just being honest. So Lindy, what are your reflections on what we've been saying?
I think like it just goes back to the age group and where you are in your life, and also like your morals and your values and how you want to be viewed anyway, how you want to be viewed in the church. Like it also comes with in the church, like there's a culture in the church like you said, and then I bring like a guy that's not from the church to the church, like that's my boyfriend or like my husband. I'm obviously gonna be viewed like, okay, like they gonna like when I'm talking to someone, they're gonna be like, okay, no, it's fine that, you know, that's your boyfriend. He's not in the church, or he didn't grow up in the church. But then there's always gonna be like, not backlash, like judgment that's gonna come with it, because like you want to be viewed as a woman of God, so it would be right to bring a man of God with you to your godly like environment. Do you get what I'm saying? So it just goes back to like how you want to be viewed as a person, and your morals, and like, are they in line with the next person? If not, then just don't do it. Like, it's not that deep. You really don't have to date.
Thank you.
not
Drop
that
mic. Drop mic.
Okay.
Drops mic.
Yeah, so on that point, I just want to firstly say that I think for me, one thing that stood out is that the whole morals and values, because I see everyone going back to that, you know, morals, values, foundation of who you are as a person, you know, getting to know yourself first. So it's almost like what we're trying to say is that it starts with you. But I don't want to go too deep into that. We're still going to go into part 2, into dating and relationships. But right now we're just trying to start off the conversation at a starting point, so that when we go deeper into the conversation, we know what foundation we're looking at. So thank you guys.
Awesome.
Thank
Yay.
you.